This literally looks like water.
It's not.
What? You didn't prank me like that. Get out of here.
I know you wish it was water.
Do I? No. I need all I can get right now.
It's the weekend. It's time to drink.
And it's a birthday.
And I love a birthday celebration.
It's the best.
I feel like people just like, well, there's always a theme.
Well, most of them not with boys.
Good birthdays have a theme. And I feel like people just naturally go crazier because it's like, we're celebrating.
Yeah, it's like the same thing for like Halloween, New Year's, 4th of July. It's like, do people actually care? Like, no.
It's just
But it's an excuse to drink.
It's an excuse. Because a birthday technically is a holiday to that person.
Yeah.
But
It's
then,
a unique holiday. It's
right?
Cool.
So then people are like, let's go. Do you have beef with anyone right now?
I don't think so. Do you?
You aren't beefing?
No. It's kind of good.
That's great. I feel like there was more beef in college in the daily life.
Ton of beef.
And why is that?
You see people more often, and you're doing things more often, and the activities are so much more abundant that, like, and there's a lot more alcohol involved. There's a lot more hooking up involved. Like, it's like, it just kind of makes sense that there's just so much overlap that you're gonna, like, not like Brittany because she did something with that person you liked, or like, you know, whatever. And it's like, even
or like somebody makes some bad drunk comments or something, or someone's
or like you would take care of someone
every single time.
Yeah, like it's not just like, okay, because the one time it's like, okay, obviously you feel bad, but it's like if blank is a serial blackout, you don't want to go out with them, and then it's like, oh, it's T that blank sucks, or like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because like she's the worst, you know, she can't handle her alcohol, or like, or he, who knows? It doesn't have to just be a girl.
Because I feel like the most of my beef and tea in college would be just like looking back, if I don't get too like nitpicky about it, it's just like, oh, it was always roommate stuff. I feel like it wasn't really friend group drama. It was like roommate stuff, but looking back, it's because I lived with different people every single year, and so I think it's like an adjustment period of getting to know how someone lives.
Yeah, and like people are brought up in such different ways, and like you don't realize that until you live with someone.
And having to like restart that like learning process every year, I think that's what causes drama.
Yeah. Well, it's like passive aggressiveness, or like really annoying texts that are just like so passive, but like come across with a smiley face and hey girly. Like,
I don't do that shit for a reason.
Not chill.
I don't do that.
Because it's also like gross. I feel like it's just like, it comes across so fake, and it's like, if we're roommates and we're also friends, never text me that. I will
if you're my friend, be real with me. Like, I'm sick of the bullshit, you know? Like, don't send the hey girly, like, would you mind cleaning the pot next time? Like,
it's so much better to just say it to someone's face.
Just
also,
like, can you clean after yourself, like, before you leave for the weekend? I think that's like a normal request. It doesn't need to be like cushioned in any way. It's just like, oh, just like a common courtesy text, like, oh, can you, you know, I don't know, pick up trash bags this time because I did it last time, or just like random things that doesn't need to be like cushioned. I think just being straightforward is how you actually problem solve, right?
I think the problem is, like, there are some people that are so sensitive and defensive that, like, you asking, like, hey, do you mind, like, cleaning up before you leave for the weekend? And they, like, literally think it's an attack. Because, like, you've dealt with those.
Right. No, like, I've dealt with those,
So, it's just, like how do you go about it? Because it's, like, if you say it straight to their face and they don't do anything, you send it over text, they don't do anything.
What else can you do?
You're not their mom, but you also both equally live there and pay rent, and it's, like, it's a really messed up thing to do.
Right, it's like, I'm not your housekeeper.
Yeah.
Right, it's time to start participating. But when you nag them so many times and nothing's done, like, Annika and I would just give up. We literally would just give up. We're like,
it's not the move.
It's not the move, but how many times can you send the same weekly text of, like...
The thing is, that's when it's, like, you don't text. You wait for them to be in the kitchen and be like, hey, and assert it.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the only way someone's going to actually be scared and be like, oh, because folding is not going to help you. It's never going to help the situation. You're still just going to be so mad. You clearly still think about it.
Yeah.
So, like, it's never helpful. It's just, like, you need to show someone that it's like, hey, you can't just walk all over me.
Right.
I'm pissed. You can't keep doing this. I'm not going to do your dishes. And just, like, be super serious.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the only way that you're, like, actually going to get results.
Yeah.
Rather than, like, hey, next time in a group chat, and it's like, oh, they're not talking about me, especially if you don't name a name.
Right.
Which you won't, because it's text, and then they can send that to places and
people.
To people and be like, oh my god, my roommate's such...
Right?
You know.
You don't want that paper trail.
Never want a paper trail. That's what I've learned in the law profession.
Yeah, tell me about that. What?
We need to talk about that. No one's gonna find that interesting, but that's okay. It's my personal beef. Or tea. It's actually my personal tea.
You have a lot of personal tea that I'll never know.
That's so cool.
It's kind of interesting, but
it's
whatever.
kind of neat. I bet that's what you were gonna say. I was like, what a word.
I feel like there was a time where I was saying neat a lot.
It's definitely like old school.
Like sometimes
Neat.
It's just like a prank when I'm saying that word. It's not always like, I genuinely find that cool and fascinating. It's like, that's neat.
Yeah, it's sarcastic.
Yeah.
Neat. It's such a dumb word.
That's why.
I actually hate that.
That's
Don't
why.
say neat. Okay, I have a question.
Yes, tell me.
So, have you ever seen... I've never seen this movie, but I know that this was a scene in the movie because I think I saw it on TikTok or somewhere.
Okay.
But it's like an older movie.
Okay.
Like 4 or 5 years old.
It is
Super old. Honestly, like, with COVID only being 3 years ago, I'm like, it feels like it's been so much longer. So 4 years is like a long time.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
If anything is pre-COVID, it feels like a
Forever,
long time ago.
a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, so it was the one movie with Noah Centineo, but not To All the Boys.
Is it the prom one?
It was like Sierra Burgess is a Loser. Did you ever hear about that movie?
That's what it was called.
Yes.
I don't know.
And it's like, it's the girl, did you ever see season 1 of Stranger Things?
No.
Okay. So she's in that, she's like red hair, curly-ish, I think, I don't really remember exactly, but she has like glasses, and so I don't even know the plot, I've just seen a clip of this, and Noah Centineo, like, objectively good looking.
Right.
And then he has 2 friends in that movie that are just, like, objectively not.
Okay.
And, like, maybe kind of on the nerdier side or, like, whatever. And one of, like, the popular girls in the movie, like, makes a comment, because I think he, like, hit on her, and she's like, no. And then her friends are like, he was cute, what's wrong? And then she goes, like, do you see who he hangs out with? Like, I can't trust that. And so,
can't trust him? He hangs out with people less attractive than him?
I think it was the fact that it was, like, nerdy or, like, maybe weirder. But, like, would you say that applies to normal life? Like, if you see an attractive guy and all of his friends are maybe, like, 5 notches below him. I would say 3 or 4,
I'm going to be honest.
5 is a lot.
I feel like in this world, people are drawn to people who are, like, attractive.
Yeah.
Or I feel like they want to be friends with people who are kind of like, I don't know, like on their wavelength. And I think that's like genuinely how like frats and sororities like choose each other. It's because they all like get along well. They're all like, oh, we're kind of similar in this way or whatever. And I just feel like you don't see a lot of friend groups where there's this one absolute stunner guy and the rest are like whatever you were describing, like nerdy, whatever, just like not. I feel like I've not actually seen that in real life.
Really?
Have you seen that?
I feel like I have, and then I'm like, that is a red flag.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, like, would you see, in like a stranger, like from afar?
Oh, you're
not
like, there's one.
There's just like, there's maybe one that's like genuinely out of their league, I guess, if like we're gonna speak like that. But I would, because I asked Todd this the other day, my brother, and I was like, so does the same work for girls, like in a guy's mind? Because I said, like, I was like, I think for me personally, if I did see that and he like came on to me, I would maybe have like my guard up a little more, that it's like, why are you friends? Like, it's like maybe a little like, why are you friends with them? If
it's like, are you a weirdo?
That's what I think.
Yes,
like the sad part is that it's
Yes.
like in the movie she was like, he's clearly weird because he only hangs out with weirder people, even though he's like good looking.
Because at that point, what it comes down to is personality.
Yeah. So then it's
like obviously his
my guard is up.
personality
Yeah.
only matches with like those personalities, which typically like I'm not as good friends with like introverted, like nerdier people. And so if that guy clearly is, like, he maybe doesn't, like, I don't know, like, lean into his looks as much.
Yeah.
Right?
So would you say red flag or no?
Would
you have your guard up if he
I would say it'd be a red flag if I've, like, seen that, but I don't know if I've, like, truly been, like, taken aback, like, oh my god, this guy, what is he doing here? Like, he seems out of place. I don't know if I'd, like, have, like, an instance or, like, a friend in mind.
Okay, set that aside.
Okay.
Is it a red flag if you do see it? Like, just...
Yeah, because I would be like, I don't want to hang out with your friends, or I would be like, can I converse with your
my
friends?
My friends can't hang out with yours, or like something, you know.
Right, because like you want to look for cohesion, and you're like, if we can't hang out in the same environment, this is a red flag.
We might be into different things.
Absolutely,
or like you know, I don't know.
Right.
Because like I don't even want to stereotype, because I'm trying to even think of it like the adult equivalent. Because obviously in that movie they were in high school, and it's like I'm sure they're like the people that are in, you know, robotics after school, or like what, and then you know she does cheerleading type stereotype. But like what is the adult equivalent?
I don't know. The adult equivalent is like
maybe the job you do.
Because to me it's like whatever. Those are like the software engineers. They run San Francisco. Yeah. They're out at the bar. We clearly see a bunch of just like guys coming back from their startup, getting a drink. It's just like I don't know if I would approach them, but if they had one like super hottie friend, I'd be like, oh, maybe like they all work together, but I don't think I would approach that group. Would you approach that group?
I don't think I would really approach anyone. I feel like
well, that's also
it's like it's that aspect that like do you want someone who's like too shy to come out to you? Like probably not, because that's my personality. It's like someone might like maybe a girl who's like down to be the more dominant, that like she's down to be the extrovert and have an introvert boyfriend, but it's like I feel like I want to connect on that same level that it's like we can both leave each other at like an event.
It's so important.
And like you can do your own thing, I can do my own thing, we meet up at the end. Or, you know, it's like, because like attached to the hip relationship or couples,
so bad for it.
It's just also off-putting, because then like someone feels like they can't just talk to you, they are also talking to your boyfriend, and they know probably anything they tell you is going straight to his ears. So it's like you're untrustworthy. I always think about
like a family, like I just went to a couple of weddings, right? Mm-hmm. If you brought a significant other to a wedding, can you leave them alone and go catch up with that random family friend or that random aunt, and he can just get along with the cousins or whatever? Can you leave him to go talk to grandma alone while you go to the bathroom? If you can't, to me, that's a red flag.
Don't marry him.
Because he, like, needs to be able to hold his own, you know, like...
And again, maybe that's just who we are, and that's
just what
like,
I look for.
And someone's, like, okay with, like, their husband being super dependent on them. I don't know many people like that, but like I personally know that I would hate it if he was kind of like following me around. Or I'm sure like a guy wouldn't love if a girl's just like, you know, his little pet, or maybe a guy would. Like
I don't know what guys look for.
I don't know.
But why do I feel like they'd be into that?
It might be like if he's like a few years older, and by a few I think I mean like 10 or 15, I'm sure he'd like that. But like
a few 10.
You know, the other day means 3 years ago.
Yes.
But what do men want? You know, I'm just kidding.
I don't know, but I feel like...
But after the conversation with Todd, I want to go back to that.
Yeah, what was Todd's take?
So he was like, I think that applies for girls and not guys. Like, guys won't think that if, like, a girl is a 9 and she has all 6 friends, that it's a red flag. And, you know, it's like, you really can never rate someone below a 5. Do you get what I mean? That it's like, 5 isn't even average, because average looking is not bad.
Yes.
But saying someone's a 5 is
it means they're
so
below
rude.
Average.
It's so rude. It's like the meanest thing you could say to someone. Like, if someone ever called me like a 3, I think I would like end it.
Because if an average nowadays is like 7, like I feel like people like if you're talking like grades, like whatever.
Average is a C.
An average is a C, which is a 7 out of 10. Yeah. So if you're called a 5, good fucking night.
And yet, I feel like most people I meet are, like, never better than 7.
But that's why I'm like, if the attractiveness scale needs to start incorporating lower numbers.
Yeah, because they exist.
But, like, if an average... needs to be truly a 5.
Yeah, but it's not anymore.
It's not by definition, but it is by definition, right?
I guess.
If you look at someone and they're average looking, they should be 5 out of 10, right? But you're like, 7. They're average looking. Or what would you say?
I don't know. I feel like if I had to say it to their face, I would lie. Duh.
Well, we're not talking to their face.
Oh. Then if someone is average looking, I feel like I'd say 5. Because to me, I still think 7 is good.
To
because
me,
I will never rate someone a 9 or a 10.
Yes.
Because no one I have met in person, celebrities, yes, 9s and 10s.
Obviously.
No one I've ever
probably
met.
Celebrities.
Probably. Or it's that surgeon.
Yeah.
I almost said celebrities that I've met. People that I have met, like normal people that don't have access to all the stuff. Yeah, like maybe I've seen an 8, but I really don't think I come
You've
across.
got a harsh scale going on.
I don't think so.
Really?
I feel like 8 is like you are incredibly good looking, and I don't feel like I've met anyone that I'm like I honestly can't talk to you because you're so good looking. And I feel like that is like the 9-10 range, but like 8's not that far below it. It's only 1 point or 10%.
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't think I've actually really met anyone that's like, oh my god, I'm like nervous to talk to them, or like they're looking into my eyes and I need to look away, like mesmerizing thing. Like I just don't know if I've ever like met anyone that meets that.
I think that.
And you have, I'm glad.
Well, I could start like just naming first and last, but I won't. But
can you just like mouth me one?
But
please.
What I was gonna say is, I think
I need to know.
Okay, well, I don't know right now, but
damn it, okay.
I think it depends on your environment, and I think hey there, I think it's like when you're in college, you can have like the 10s of Cal Poly, you can have the 9s of Cal Poly, etc. But like, I feel like it's just unreasonable to rate yourself to a celebrity because you are literally in 2 different brackets. Mm-hmm. I think you can rate the celebrity 1 to 10s and then the common people 1 to 10s. And
I think it's so hard though because like a 10 is flawless. 10 is perfect. 10 is 100%.
In my head, I'm thinking D1, D2, D3. If celebs are D1, we're D2. Common
we
people.
are D2.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Who's D3? Who's D3?
I don't know, Claire, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Like I do, but I'm like, who is D2? I'm actually
well, it's like I just think it's by like context and age. Like you're not gonna rate a college kid against a high school kid. Like high school can be its own bracket.
We cannot do
college
that.
kids.
We are 23.
But that's what I'm saying. There's different brackets. You can't compare like when you're in high school yourself to Angelina Jolie because that's just not realistic.
I guess to me, I'm like I wouldn't consider anyone a 10 in high school. Like it might be a harsh thing, but it's also like again, 10 equals flawless. 10 is perfect. 10 is all those things. It's like, did you ever meet someone that actually met that? Did you?
Oh, did I personally? No.
That's my point. That it's like, I think the majority of people are basically smushed between 6, 7, 8. That like, I don't meet a lot of 9s and 10s. I also think it's, again.
Do you think where you come from is a lot of attractive people?
I think if you go out of my suburban town, like, there's a possibility. But also, like I said, a normal person who does not have the money or access to anything, and in LA, people do, so I can't really, like, judge that. But I'm like, there were so many attractive people at Cal Poly, but I wouldn't say, like, anyone I ever met was a 10.
Do you remember the episode of Call Her Daddy where Alex is
if
like...
you're a 5 or 6, die for that.
I know, that's iconic. She's like, I forget where she was from, but she said she went to college in Boston, and she's like, wherever, oh, she's from like Pennsylvania or some shit, Pittsburgh. She's like, oh yeah, if I felt like I was a Pittsburgh 6, I was a Boston 10. So I think that's where it also comes down to, is like, that's another layer of like, if you are rated against the people you are surrounded with, I feel like the 1 to 10 can also be impacted by your environment.
Yeah, like a lot of people are like, if you're a Vegas 10, you're a Miami 2.
Right.
Yeah, like I've heard that.
So I think it depends on your environment. I think it depends upon if you're rating yourself as celebrities. I just feel like there's so many factors that like, it just changes all the time.
My question though still is like, do you feel like you've met a 10 boy?
In real life, no.
Okay.
No. Definitely not. Just, hello, I'm Megan. You're a 10. I probably wouldn't, even if I saw a 10.
I would never tell someone
Well,
that.
again, Claire, we're not telling anyone's ratings to themselves.
No.
I don't know where you got
You
that.
told that one friend.
I don't remember that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
He told you.
He told me
That's
later. He's like, yeah, you told me I went
That's
from
so
a,
sad.
what was it, a 6 to an 8?
Yeah, because you can't call someone a 5. I think you and I talked about this, that it's like, you were never going to call them, like, you were a 5 before this.
Yeah, but you were. But, like, all I'm saying is, like, I don't remember that conversation because I would never do that to someone's face. So obviously I was blocked out.
Probably Frost.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, turn it off.
Turn it off, it's canceled. Turn it off.
We are officially canceled.
We're canceled.
But yeah, I guess my take is that, like, on my average day-to-day basis in my entire life, I still just can't get behind that I've met ever a 10 and not, like, probably rarely a 9. Like, so wow. I just do think that it's like majority of the people in the world are 6, 7, 8s. Like, to me,
that's being realistic.
Yes.
Yes. Especially if it's a bell-shaped curve and it's no one's a 10.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
Everyone's a 6, 7, 8.
Which, if anything, it's like no one will be offended if you say any of those numbers. Actually, I'd probably be offended if, like...
If someone called me a 6, I'd be offended.
I know.
Because that's closer to being unattractive than attractive.
That's the thing. 5 is not unattractive, but we have, like, ruined that.
That's why I think it depends
5 is
on
average.
their opinion.
So saying
of the
6
scale.
is like, you're above average.
But I would not
But I would
take
still
it
get,
that way.
like, sad.
I would not take it that way, and I would be wanting I didn't hear that. Have you heard that question where if there's a book of everything that's been
No, I would
said
never.
about you,
I would literally
okay,
never.
let me explain it.
I know, I'm sorry. I know the answer, though. My answer is this.
If there's a book where everything everyone's been said about you is written in it, both positive and negative, and you have to read all the negative before the positive, would you read it?
Again, answer is still no.
Why no?
I mean, do you think yes?
No, I just want to hear.
I would say no, because it's like, I actually think at the end of the day, like, I wouldn't have any friends or family.
Say anything not negative about you, you think?
100%.
Yeah.
Everyone has it in them.
Yeah.
Everyone has said bad things about people. So I'm like, and I think I would be like, I can't look at you the same after reading that vile thing that someone said about me. And again, maybe it was them really mad at me about something and they said it and immediately regret it. Who knows? It doesn't say that they regretted it.
There's no context.
Just says a quote and then blank. And it's like, I'm sure my mom bitched about me when I was a teenager, probably still even to this day.
Yeah.
That's the thing, it's like, I wasn't very nice to her either as like a teen. So it's just like, I'm sure everyone's been mad at you. And it's like, people say things that they regret.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's probably behind your back and they regret it, but you never had to hear them. So it's like, hey, but we all make mistakes. We all say things we either do mean in the moment or don't mean later, like in the long run. So I feel like it's just like, I would have such a hard time just removing that when I'm like looking at their face and I'm like, I know you said that she'll never amount to anything. Or like, you know, something like that.
People have said that about you?
I definitely don't think that.
Okay.
But that was the first thing I could come up that was like maybe no cuss words or
Yeah.
anything like actually bad.
Yeah.
But like, so I wouldn't read it. I think it would just kind of like lead me to like a very isolated place because it's like you can't count anyone but yourself. It's like, first of all, that's not true. We've all had bad days, bad moments.
We're human,
We're all human. You know, it's like, again, that maybe you had a roommate that really made you mad, but you loved her as a person. But you talk shit about her because she's horrible to live with. But you love her as a person.
Right.
And she read that and she's like, she doesn't even care about me.
Right.
And it's like, no, I do. You just make me mad.
Right. Because I think when you take friends to roommates, it's like siblings, but because you're not siblings, not everything is forgivable. And I think that's the problem. Like, I've gotten into countless fights with both my brother and my sister, but at the end of the day,
it's family.
It's family. You all love each other. I will have their back to the day, you know, we all die. Like, we are quite literally blood.
Yeah. Blood is thicker than water.
So fucking true. But I think the problem is when you have roommates, it's like you act like family because you're living under the same roof. But because you're not family, like, you can't just say anything and be like, I'm going to be forgiven, it's going to be fine.
Yes.
It's going to just be swept under the rug and everyone's going to forget about it.
I remember, like, my mom getting mad at me one time, I think, because I said something, like, really mean to my brother, but siblings get mad. And
it just passes.
It's normal. And I remember she's like, do you talk to your friends that way? And I'm like, no, because they wouldn't forgive me. And I remember she's like, you sound like a sociopath when you say it. And I'm like,
when I get it.
But I'm like, you know what I'm saying. And I'm also just like, really? You haven't treated your siblings different than your friends? That's cap.
That's
Mom.
the definition
like,
of siblings. Like,
is it? You know, if we look it up, is that what it is?
Because you choose your friends, but you're born with your siblings, so you're gonna fight because you guys live together.
But that's what's scary, that it's like, oh, you can just redact your choice.
Yeah.
Like, snap of your fingers, someone did something unforgivable. Or like, that's the problem with like people who are like stubborn or like hold grudges, that it's just kind of like, you have to understand that like, you're human, they're human, they made mistakes, you've made mistakes. Like, again, yeah, if someone intentionally does something knowing it would hurt you, I don't think I could like...
Well, that's a mean person.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I feel like...
You just said if somebody intentionally does something...
But you know, like, there are people that it's like, oh, you don't actually know that they're a mean person. Do you kind of get what I mean? That it's like, they will do that and then be the innocent, everyone's best friend type person.
Oh, so they're two-faced.
Yeah, so it's like, mean person, but like, it's not everyone's consensus about them, is like the scariest person.
Yeah, it's just your opinion. And then you look around and you're like, how is nobody else feeling this right now? I'm alone.
And you're like, I felt like they tried to just actually... And when I say...
Like, stab me in the back and then, like, walk away and, like, nobody can see it but me.
Yeah.
That's so isolating.
It's the scariest.
Right?
Those people are, like, tread lightly.
But, like, to me, I'm like, that can't be a sibling.
What? Intentionally hurt?
Yeah.
Unless they have, like, a mental thing.
Right.
It's like, okay, you're crazy.
Right.
Like, I agree.
Mm-hmm. But, like...
Siblings should have each other's back, but not all of them.
Not always. And, like, you know, I've had, like, fights with everybody, but at the end of the day, it's like, you go back to, like, you're literally always going to be in each other's lives. You are family.
Yeah. That's why it, like, really makes me sad when I, like, hear that someone hasn't spoken to their sibling in, like, years.
And I think it's so sad. Yeah, I agree. No, I completely agree. Because that is somebody that you're supposed to have forever. Like, have your back, like a built-in type of friend, whatever.
And that could be, like, an environmental thing, too. That, like, if you had a really tough home life and maybe you were the youngest sibling and your older sibling didn't, like, stick up for you or didn't have your back, like, yeah, you are going to be like, I don't need you. Because you had to grow up on your own. Because your parents maybe were, like, not there for you or, like, treated you really poorly, kicked you out, who knows. There's, like, those situations, I understand maybe why you wouldn't talk to your sibling, because if it's every man for himself in a family, that's not a good family, and you want to get out and you want to just be like, now my friends are my family or my coworkers or whoever you basically, like, put in your life, that's, like, luckily not me, but those situations, I guess, are the only times where I guess I understand if, like, you didn't, I don't know, because I feel like, you know, if you're one of those, like, older siblings that had to basically, you know, like in Shameless, how she basically had to, like, be the mom, be the whole parent.
That's so hard.
And it's like, you know, but she's not the mom. And
she leaves and it's so drama.
And it's like, I haven't even seen that much of it. I've only seen, like, a few episodes, but it's like, I know the gist.
Such a good show.
That's what I've heard. But, like, they don't appreciate it then. And it's like, no, but she doesn't need to take on this role. She could have just said, like, bye. I'm 18. So it's like, I don't know. That's where we just did not grow up with that. We don't, like, we can't relate. So
I could never put myself in those shoes. I could never even imagine how it feels, you know? Like, it's fine. I'll never watch it again because I don't have Netflix anymore. So,
that is so rude.
I took a picture of the screen where it said, like, not your home address, whatever the fuck. And I sent it to my parents and I said, this is the worst day of my life.
What did they say?
They just laughed.
Wow. You're like, do you mind getting me a new account?
I will never watch Netflix again.
I won't either.
Could you just, like...
Are you crying?
I'm laughing.
You need to stop the tears. It hurts too much.
I feel like I cry when I laugh so often.
So do I. And then I'm like, oh my god, my makeup.
I'm like, pull it together.
I'm like,
it's not going to save your life. No, but it's just like, I'm not going to pay for a streaming service on my own. Therefore, no more Shameless. I used to be heartbroken that New Girl left Netflix.
No,
whatever, I just left Netflix. So, like, fuck it. I don't care.
Netflix
like,
kicked me out.
Netflix kicked me out. So, you know what? Put me out of my misery if New Girl isn't even on there anymore.
I definitely do need Netflix, though, because
What's on it?
Stranger Things. I know you don't care. But, like...
I could survive without... I don't know if there's a Netflix show that I can't, like, survive?
BoJack, dude.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm actually so upset right now.
I know.
I was like, I can do without Netflix. It's been terrible anyways.
Literally maybe 85% of the things they produce
Dude,
is
Selling
like
Sunset.
trash. Okay, but I love Selling Sunset.
That's why I'm like,
but it's a bad show. It's
beautiful. I
pretty
love
basic.
it.
But I think it's also a part of just pop culture, and if I don't have access to, like, the Netflix originals that everyone's talking to,
I agree.
I'm disconnected from society.
That's why, like, if I didn't have TikTok, I'd feel the same way.
And I hate the elitists who are like, I'm above not having TikTok.
You're literally not. First of all, you're not funny. You suck. And you're a 3. Sorry. You're a 3. Let's bring it back to that.
But at the same time, we're on Instagram Reels rewatching uploaded TikToks. So
Literally.
shut the fuck up and get out of my face, honestly.
People are the worst.
People suck.
God, we need to just cancel all people, including ourselves.
So is it a red flag if a guy doesn't have Netflix?
Or is it even a redder flag if it's clearly still his parents?
What? Not anymore. Everyone's getting kicked.
No, they can have the one.
I need to look into that.
Yeah. That's a red flag.
I
like, get your own at that rate.
I don't know if I'm going to put it as a red flag if they have their parents or if they don't
What
have
if
it.
he's 25?
But I think it's a green flag if, like, he's paying for his own streaming
100%.
services. So it's not like a red if you don't, but absolute green if you do. It's like, okay, Mr. Independent.
You're like, if he doesn't have Netflix, it's like, okay, like, weird. But I understand more now with the parent issue.
I understand it because, you know what? I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
not
I
one
don't
to
have
judge if I'm in the same boat as you, but green flag if you have it.
It's like, all right, props.
I don't even know how much Netflix is a month.
I think it's like $13 now.
Fuck
It might be more. It literally might be more.
No, I think it's like closer to 20.
Dude, it was 8. It was literally
I remember
8.
that.
That was an era.
Do you remember when it was having
DVDs?
screens?
Oh, what?
Oh yeah, so after DVDs, it was like one screen was like $8, 2 screens was
like profiles?
$10. No, like screens that could be playing on the same Netflix account at the same time.
Oh, I do remember that.
And I remember it was like the beginning of college because if I tried to like watch something and my brother and my dad or whatever were both watching Netflix at the same time, it would be like, sorry, unable to stream.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, it was like, we're experiencing difficulties or like
Yeah.
whatever, and then I'm like, great.
And I would just like text in the fan group chat like, who's
Yeah.
watching Netflix? Can I watch right now or whatever?
No.
Like that was a conversation
remember
that was had, and then it was like 4+ screens were like $12 or $13. I'm like, ooh,
Big deal.
expensive.
And I remember, I like wanted to watch a show on Hulu, and my dad was like, yeah, we'll get Hulu, and then I was like, oh, there's like different tiers, and he's like, screw the ads, and like I was just like,
You're like, this is the best day of my
it's
life.
like, we are
balling.
even though I was
right
like,
now.
what was it, $15?
I have no idea. But
I don't remember the year. It was probably like 2016.
you're like, this is amazing.
I was like, especially now that we do have Hulu ads only, I'm like, I actually do miss. I really miss it.
Oh, I
It's-
miss it.
when
It's
you
so
experience-
peaceful.
when you
the
experience
life
no
of
ads,
luxury.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like literally the max is like a minute and a half, and I just can't do it. I have to go on my phone.
No, it's because
It's
my
so
attention
bad.
span is
TikTok.
so short.
We're screwed.
I feel like an ad comes on, we can't even talk.
Oh
It's
my
like
God.
I
Ad comes
broke
on,
it.
I reach for the phone.
I'm all of a sudden broken down, unable to think, unable to breathe. I'm like, what do I do with this ad playing? And then, boom. Bartender. Oh my
Actually,
god.
like, I'm not coming.
That just reminded me of the guy on the bus. Claire, explain the bus story.
Is it even like a good enough story? Because I feel like I walked on tunnel vision, did not even notice anything until I sat down and someone said that guy's bleeding.
Okay, you weren't experiencing it then?
You know how I feel about situations. I go tunnel vision, I'm dealing with myself, because you want to know why?
Why?
If he were to talk to me, bleeding guy,
I don't want your blood on me.
I'm not going to look at you.
No.
Like, and that's just how it has to be. Like, it's not like I'm empathetic. Or, it's not like I'm not empathetic, because I do.
Not like I'm empathetic.
Makes it sound the other way. No, but it's like, when you experience it on a day-to-day, it's like people in New York. Like,
Everyone just like minds their own business, and there's
Well, you know
nothing wrong with it.
like, on the subway,
Yeah.
someone's doing some crazy shit, and like, singing opera, or like, whatever, and like, dangling from the, you know, who knows? People don't look up from like their phones.
Or
Or
it's like people just doing them.
so it's like, that's how I feel like I have to be in San San Francisco with the amount of homeless people and tweakers and like, is that right? Should we bleep that?
No.
Tweaker?
That's fucking life,
Is that PC? Tweaker? People without homes is actually PC.
Yes.
People experiencing homelessness. That's PC.
There it is, baby.
It's okay. HP.
What is the PC version of tweaker?
Crack.
Let's embrace
Let's bring back crack.
Let's bring back crack, because then it's not PC to say crack addict, right? What? Give me a slice.
Like hobo.
What's
a hobo? I feel like hobo used to be used like just so casually when I was in like middle school. Like it was like, oh my god, Bob is such a hobo. First of all, Bob. The name Bob. That was such a thing. It was like, that's so the funniest.
Nickelodeon to say hobo. Does that make sense?
And Bob. It's both. I swear it's like, oh my god, Bob over there. And it's like snickering. Same energy as me. Same energy as me. Hobo is, that's like...
Can we say that? No, is that okay?
What, snicker?
No, hobo.
Oh. If it's not, I don't care. I swear that would be like on a penny tee, and iCarly, it's like hobo lover.
I would wear that
shit. Or like hobo macaroni.
Yeah.
Like, that's what would be a penny tee.
It makes no sense. And everyone's like, that's comedy.
They're like, oh my god. I'm on the floor laughing. And it's like,
and then the statement is like, I gotta go pick up my ointment.
Seriously, it's like, just say cream. But is that worse?
Why does it ointment, a hobo, and what else?
Okay.
Just like ran Nickelodeon.
Okay, like the pear pad, that shit.
Yeah.
And like, they called P.F. Chang's B.F. Wangs.
But it was like, everything was just like this alternate universe. So Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man before Spider-Man came out.
I need to see that again. It was so good. I'm like,
so Claire's an A-list.
Honestly, it's such a good deal. I know I'm going to see at least 3 movies in the next month.
Thank God.
So it is a good deal. Because first of all, boom, that's like 1.5 ticket. But I'm seeing the 3. And what are the 3? I'm so glad you asked.
Lay it on me, baby.
I sounded like Elise Myers. Like, it's like, what's the worst date I've ever had? Thank you for asking. The taco story. But Elemental.
Oh, yeah.
We must see that. Barbie. Oppenheimer. I want to see the A24. You're not going to want to see this, but Talk to Me. It's a horror movie. That's 4 I just named. Oh my god, Insidious. Another horror movie.
You don't want someone to like hold your hand?
I actually think it would like
while you're watching,
like make me feel something. You know, like in a good way. Like it's like, whoa, I'm experiencing homelessness.
And call me a hobo.
No, I feel like most horror movies don't really scare me, and so I feel like it's like I would really feel it if I was alone in a theater.
Oh, that's what you mean by
like
make you feel.
Yeah, like it'd be like, whoa, I'm actually feeling like this is a scary movie.
Yeah.
Because I watched the dumbest movie the other day with like Haley and Cameron, and it was called Eli, and it had the gal from Yellowstone in it.
Oh. And the blonde.
Beth.
Yeah.
Brunette. Or not brunette. Ginger. Red hair? Maybe Ginger's not okay.
Gollum
the hobo in Yellowstone. So she's in it, and it was like so stupid. It was like,
but I like a shitty movie.
Yeah, but you wouldn't like a shitty horror movie.
No, definitely not.
So it's like we wanted to watch a horror movie. We're like, let's. Also, there's no good horror movies on Netflix. Netflix sucks.
Thank God we got.
Thank God. I hate BoJack too. Just kidding.
I watched that to feel something.
You know, we both feel something in different ways.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I feel like I feel the same way. That it's like, hey, I watch How I Met Your Mother to feel some laughs. And then I guess I'm going to watch Insidious by myself to feel some anxiety.
Thank God.
And nervousness and panic attacks. Sometimes you just need it to like get that heart rate up, and it's like, hey, just in case like I have a stroke one day. Like,
I do feel like sometimes I just need a good cry.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
I definitely feel that. I haven't had one in probably a year. Really? I'm not joking.
I feel like I casually cry all the time. But not in a bad way. Just like in a casual way. Just like in the shower or in the car. I don't know.
Well,
Do you not just cry?
I mean, I don't have a car, and I feel like that would happen more if I did.
It's just like a song comes on, and I just like have a little cry, and then I'll skip it or something.
I guess maybe my thing is it's like I rarely put my music on shuffle, so it's like I know what's coming next. And so
Okay, yeah.
I won't be like, oh my god, wait, it's that one song. I can't even.
Just like a sad song. There's so many sad songs out there.
Yeah, I guess it's like most of the time my vibe in the car is like I'm trying to jam.
But like sometimes I do just hit that music roulette and just hit all like song shuffle. And then
music roulette.
That's when you know sometimes a cry can just spawn.
Yeah.
On my face.
No.
Like,
Nothing on the face.
Skip,
Nothing
skip,
on the
skip.
face. Nothing about spawn on the face. You know what that is I'm envisioning. I'm actually so scared of you.
Anyway, you don't cry.
You know I had 2 years of
cries.
Flooding. Floods.
It is the dam that broke.
Yeah, and then you know what happened? It was global warming, and then it just dried up.
It really is global warming.
Is it? We are freezing all the time. I had to wear 3 jackets while doing work today. Sitting at this chair.
Oh boy.
So, I don't know about that. I don't know if it's really global warming.
That's happening.
I know, I'm just kidding. But not here.
But not here, so you know what?
And
This
it's
is
also
just
been
doing its part.
Cloudy and rainy in LA this entire year.
Gotcha.
So,
I actually think the year 2023 has been the worst weather I've experienced probably in my recent memory. And
yeah.
I don't think that's an exaggeration.
Because I'm like, 2019 and slow was like really bad. It was really rainy.
Winter quarter was real bad.
But yeah, it was like this was just nonstop basically from November to even April.
Correct.
So yeah,
That's half a year. Like,
good math.
yeah, thank you. 6
Uh-huh.
months. That's horrible.
Yeah. So I would say that was tough. What made us talk about the weather?
Oh, I don't know. Crying?
Yeah. I don't know. Actually, I guess I haven't had a good cry in a while because now that I really reflect, I cried yesterday.
Great.
Watching Mamma Mia.
That's what I'm saying.
Every time a song came on, I started crying. So I was like, is this some like inner childhood?
Yes.
Like, oh, it's gone and it's coming out because now I hear like Dancing Queen and I'm like, I'm not 17.
Yeah.
And then I'm like feeling like really, oh my God, I am quarter life crisis right now. I am almost the age.
Yeah, I think, so I was talking to a coworker who
Yeah.
just turned 25, and she had a big cry when she turned 25, because at that point, you're like, I'm no longer in college. I think we can still, like, cosplay that we're college age, even though we are after college, but she's like, once you're 25, it's like, I have to start acting like an adult, because at this point, because then your mind spirals, you're like, if I'm 25, I'm 30. If I'm 30, I'm
50.
50.
Yeah.
And
Like,
if I'm 50,
it's
I'm dead. So all of a sudden I'm dying
Basically.
tomorrow. And so I think she started spiraling, and I was like, no, that's so valid.
I think I've been at a really good place when it comes to like age recently. And like, yes, I'm only 23, but I'm 23.
Enjoy it.
Technically and a half. But, which who says that? Unless you're 8.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, it's really cool to age, and I know a lot of people are a little like, that's so scary, I don't want to lose my looks, or like, you know, lose kind of my body, or like just a lot of things that maybe are just on the more shallow side.
Like youthfulness, or whatever.
Yeah. Or energy. Like,
yeah, exactly.
A lot of things that like come with being, you know, teenager, or even just like college and a little post-grad. But it is so cool to have so many memories and so many stories and so many life experiences that it's like, we have barely scratched the surface. And yet
there's so much more to experience.
And that's why I'm like, I, you know, still have like quite a few fun stories just like in my back pocket if I want to be like, guys, listen to this one time that I blah, blah, blah.
Let's listen.
I can't even really think about it, even though I just said back pocket, but you know, ignore me.
It's okay.
You
don't have a pocket right now, so your
right.
pocket list.
I'm like,
there goes my story.
Pocket
Pocket
list.
list.
Bye. But it's really cool because it's like, you know, there's that meme about, you know, like once a year your dad will tell you something that's just like,
why
you
have you
had
never told
no
me this
idea
before?
that you like lived in Africa for a year and like tried to become a monk or something, like
some random shit.
Random stuff. And it's just like, wait, what? Or, you know, things that, again, people just, oh yeah, I learned how to speak Spanish when I lived in Spain for 2 years. Wait, Mom, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
like, when did you do that? Like, or, you know, whatever. Or even just like someone who's 29. It was like, yeah, the first 5 years of my 20s, I just traveled. And I learned all this. I met all these people. I still hang out with Pierre in France.
Fuck yeah, Pierre.
I was like, let's go. Most stereotype name. Here we go. But like, yes, yeah, there's cons and pros to everything. But I don't know. It's cool to just like be able to be in this place where it's like, hey,
you have so much still happening.
So much still happening. You don't have to be a corporate slave if you don't want to. And if you're in that area right now and you hate it,
well, we're going to make it big, so.
Of course. So we don't need to do that either. Just kidding, boss. I love. I actually do. I do like my job.
Me too.
But that's the thing. It's like, if sponsor. But that's the thing. It's like, if you are listening and you hate it.
Yeah.
And you don't feel like it'll take you anywhere. People that you work with are just, you're not connecting with, whatever. You don't have to do it. Maybe
it's not forever.
No.
Nothing is forever. It's time to have another drink, Claire.
Okay. We need to go to the liquor store.
Oh, fuck. We have so much
liquor.
Busy. Friday.